What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BzG Plays Ratchet and Clank. My name is Barrett. I am Clank, and here joined with me is Henry, who is Ratchet.
Yay. I'm the
Just kidding. This isn't a two-player game. I just have the controls, and I'm just like holding it because Clank is basically just a backpack right now.
Yeah. Or oh no, it's a two-player game, and it's like when you.
It's like when you give your little brother like the controller that isn't plugged in, and you're the one really playing, and he thinks he's playing.
Your mom's like, play with your sister, and and you're like, here, have the controller, and like you don't just give her an unplugged-in controller. You give her like the Mad Catz controller.
Yeah, I remember my sister when she was really little. She wanted to get into video games. The game I was playing a lot at the time when she was little was Guitar Hero. She would want to play Guitar Hero, so I'd give her a controller while I sat behind her and actually played.
You can actually play with a controller.
I know you can, but I just thought it was just funny. And it's so ridiculous. Who the fuck played Guitar Hero with like a regular controller?
I did once because
was it enjoyable at all? Like. I love that was even an option of like...
It just makes it feel like Parappa the Rapper. Like, I gotta believe. But as I was saying about rare games at the end of our last episode, and I made a mistake, and...
No, you can swim around. Swim around. Get up, and get down.
This is definitely a remake of the first one because you have it measures like how long you have before you drown.
Oh, yeah.
Because... at some point in the first one, you get a diving helmet.
I imagine there's some big underwater portion of this game.
Yes.
I'm not excited if they decided to do that again. I'm not excited for that, but hopefully if they decided to do that, hopefully they made like it enjoyable at least.
Well, here to me at least, underwater levels are always better in 3D platformers than 2D.
I would say it depends on the controls. What was the video I was watching? For some reason, I was watching some random YouTube kids. I don't know. I can't cite who it was because I can't think of it. Some random person I found on the internet who was talking about like the worst Zelda, the worst Zelda dungeons.
Was it Jay Witz?
I'm not too sure. That doesn't sound familiar to me though. But he was talking about like a lot of the underwater levels, just because like the way I think there's like a Majora's Mask underwater level that's like really really hard to navigate.
Did he have a Pokemon themed?
Yes.
It was Jay Witz.
Yeah.
The plumber's back.
I don't know who that is, but you're excited, so
he's at least in the first 3, he would always appear at some point in the game.
Okay.
And he'd always give you, like, an important item.
Oh, that's cool.
But, like, yeah, so I subscribed to Jay Witz, and I watched that episode, too.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, water dungeons in Zelda always suck. But also, Zelda's not a platformer, so its controls aren't meant for navigating underwater.
That is true. And I'm trying to think of, like, other, like, underwater, like, 3D platformers and, like, underwater levels. Like, Donkey Kong 64 has like it's not like all underwater, but it's like a sort of water heavy like levels.
It's Chairman Drek.
And this is like the sort of main villain, right?
Yeah, he's the same main villain as in the first game.
In the first one, all right, yeah. And sorry, I know we're not talking a lot about Ratchet and Clank, but they're like.
This is just giving us a lot of topics.
It's us just talking about 3D platformers in general, which Ratchet and Clank very much is. But for underwater levels, like Donkey Kong 64, it's like there's you have to like maybe sometimes swim underwater a lot, but it's not like all underwater, which I thought was like a smart way to do it. Of like, hey, not the entire time you have to like fucking swim around. Like there are ports where you have to go above ground and like do all this other shit. But yeah, like it's like Ocarina of Time, like
the water dungeon.
Both of them are so fucking bad.
That and Jabu Jabu.
Yeah, like that one and Jabu Jabu. Like
Jabu Jabu sucks 90% because of Princess Ruto.
Yeah, and like I've been playing through Ocarina of Time because of Game Grumps and like because they're doing their playthrough of it. I was like, oh, this seems fun to like go back to, and I've been playing up to, and I got up to Jabu Jabu. I was like, fuck. and I just stopped playing Zelda.
Yeah.
So if there is like, ooh, here's a water slide for you.
Yeah. This is literally the exact same landscape as the first one.
That's really cool. I like that.
So it's like
how much of this like is a nostalgic trip for you?
Literally all of it. Like I'm trying to think if any part of this isn't nostalgic for me, and none of it is. Is this where I came from?
Yes. I believe so. Yeah.
Like all of it is like supremely like I know exactly what to do at this point in time. Anyway, Geronimo.
Woo! Is that like a Doctor Who reference?
No.
Geronimo!
It's funny. I used to love Doctor Who, and then the fan base completely ruined it.
And they're like, you know, it's not, and that's not to say that all of the fans are shitty or anything.
Oh no, like there's no fan base that's like 100% shitty, unless it's something like the true crime fandom on. Oh, I can get the Pyrociter. That's how it's pronounced.
Pyrocity. I would imagine that's how you pronounce it. I guess. Yeah, you can fuck it, whatever you want to do. Because I'm gonna honestly, after we record this, I'm actually gonna go back and replay this entire thing. Because the thing that sucks about PlayStation 4, like doing Let's Plays on PlayStation 4, and I thought I was gonna be clever about this. If I ever wanted to record Let's Plays by myself, I was going to plug in my headphones into the controller while like the game capture went into the computer. But if I have my headphones plugged into the controller,
there's no sound.
There's no sound that gets captured, which is like the worst fucking thing. I can get around that with the Wii U sometimes. The reason why it wasn't working for us for Wind Waker is because we were playing with like a different controller. We were playing with the Pro controller. So
there it is.
Holy shit, that's a sexy gun.
This is the flamethrower.
Alright.
And then this is the proton drum that I don't think this was in the original game unless I'm getting it confused with something else.
Okay.
We'll save up on that. I got a flamethrower now that weirdly only has 20 hits in it. 20
But anyway, but just my point is that I want to go back and play this just to hear like what's actually going on, because I literally, after we've been playing this for 50 minutes, I still have like really no clue what's going on.
Well, I know exactly what's going on.
But also, you've played the game millions of times.
Yeah. Like this level at least, I have played more than dozens.
So I'm excited to go back to get more context of what the story is. Yeah, and that's a cool thing of like, even though we've been playing this for like an hour, I'm not like, oh, I gotta go back and play this so I can like figure out what's actually going on. Like I'm actually like really excited to learn. So like I said, you can fuck with anything that you want, because I'm just gonna go back and sort of do my own playthrough of it once we're done.
Yeah. But back to what I was talking about on the first episode with Rare games. Rare has just not been good since.
And that's sad. And that's the cool thing about Yooka-Laylee. It's like those original guys who were part of Rare in their prime, who left to go make like what they've always wanted to make. And that's like, isn't Rare making some like weird game, right? Like they're trying to make Rare come back in a weird way. Let me look this up really quick. Rare games.
And then it's just like, these are games by order of rarity, and you're like, God damn it.
Because I could have sworn they're like working on a game that doesn't look that crazy. Games. Can I get a list of games? No, you're just gonna be a dick.
These guys are from the third game, the Amiiboids.
Right, they're working on this game called Sea of Thieves, which looks like this weird pirate MMO. It's the game is also, it's a first-person user-generated content. It's single player, but it's also multiplayer. It's adventure. You're a pirate.
Yeah,
that's what I got from that. And like, it'll be interesting to see how, because Rare is owned by Microsoft now. It's only going to be on Xbox One, which sucks. Because I would love to get an Xbox One. We talk shit about Xbox, but you know what? Like, From what I've heard, they've been killing it lately with like Rare Replay and Quantum Break. I've heard it's like really good.
Gears of War 4 looks good.
Yeah, Gears of War 4 looks good, even though you're making fun of the trailer because Disturbed covering Simon and Garfunkel.
Hello, darkness,
my old friend.
I've come to talk with you again. That trailer's fucking hysterical to me.
I don't know. I really liked it. And even though it is Disturbed, and that's such a weird thing to think about, I still like. I liked sort of their take. But I think Colin Moriarty was saying on Colin and Greg Live recently that he would have liked to seen the trailer just with the original song. Ooh, I like that. I like the flamethrower. That's fucking cool as shit.
And also, like, here's a real question: why do flamethrowers in games 90% of the time suck? Like, flamethrower should be like the coolest weapon to use.
I'm trying to think of like games that actually use them because I'm like having a really hard time thinking of any right now. I can think of like
the one I always think of is Call of Duty World at War because they advertised it so much. It's like in this game you get to use a flamethrower and it's the first time you get to use it in a Call of Duty game.
In this game you get to use a dog.
Woof.
Call of Duty Ghosts.
In this game the fish runs away.
The fish runs away from you?
The fish swims away. The fish swim away from you. And then they didn't.
Oh God! Whatever happened to Call of Duty?
They started making too many of them.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty 1 through 4 were great because they waited with each one.
I love that you fucking know all this shit right now. Just like, oh yeah, this is over here and blah 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 blah. It's fucking awesome.
And it's also
it's great content for people. Yeah, it's great content for people who like want to try to look around for that kind of shit. So
I would love if like someday when one of us brings our PS3 over here so that you can actually play some PS3 games.
Yeah, like I want to play Mafia 2.
I have a bunch of you could finally play those Jak and Daxter games again.
Yeah, I played Jak and Daxter for the first time in like fucking years.
I will tell you, one thing that's throwing me off here, in the original games, oh my god, new card again.
Sweet.
You fired by pressing R1.
Yeah, that's something that was like a huge, and that's not even just for this game though, from what I...
Like every shooter, like they changed...
On the PS3 was you shoot with R1, and for Xbox... That was like the big difference between Xbox and PlayStation controller wise was that Xbox it was like the trigger button that you would shoot with, which actually makes sense.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation was all weird of like, hey, this trigger button.
Oh, my health went up at some point.
Isn't the trigger, so that's weird. But I understand why that throws you off. But I actually think it's a better decision that they finally jumped on that bandwagon of.
I think it is too, but it's just like it feels weird because all the times I've played this and it's always been R1. It's kind of like how when you go back to play a racing game, and now racing games you go forward with L2, with R2, and back in the day you move forward with X. So that also feels like super weird, like going back from...
Yeah, and like the Crash Team Racing where we have to hold down X. And I think like racing games still do that today, but it's just like you have like both options. But back in the day, it was like you only had the one option of like, hey, this is how you go forward. This is how you go back. God, this game is so fucking pretty.
I know. And it's like, you go back to the first three, and they actually do age pretty well for PS2 games. Mostly because they're so cartoony. Like...
And that's the really cool... And not even like, hey, it's cool that 3D platformers are coming back, but it's also cool of like, we haven't gotten like a good like... And not to say like there aren't good like cartoony sort of like kid-style games. Like, I know...
you have
like,
all the Mario games.
Yeah, you got the Mario games, you got, like, the Disney Infinity or whatever bullshit, but, like...
We ain't got that kind of money.
But the thing is, like, I don't know, like, Disney Infinity and, like, the, Lego Dimensions and whatever, it's like, those... I don't know. Those are super complicated, and I feel like, even though they are popular among kids... I think it's time to show kids who are growing up with like the PlayStation 4, try to show them like, hey, you don't have to like buy all of this shit to try to enjoy a full game. You know? You can just buy this one game.
This game's a full game on its own.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the crazy thing. This is $40.
$40.
$40,
and everyone should buy it.
Yeah. And from what I understand, I was trying to get like a good measurement of like how long it'll take.
Fuck, I died.
That's okay. And the sort of corroboration I got was like 8 to 12 hours, I think was the average that I came up to. Oh, level up!
I leveled up the combustor damage.
Damage now 40%. Sweet.
No, it went up 40%.
Oh. Yeah.
Damage is now 40% of what it was before. That's a terrible upgrade.
Oh, God.
Upgrade. Your wife left you. What?
What? Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. You can check out... we're playing Ratchet & Clank all this week. You can check out our other Let's Plays of Ratchet & Clank if you just happen to pop in on this one. We're doing one more Let's Play of Ratchet & Clank tomorrow. Remember to tune in tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on our YouTube page or over at BzGamers.com. I always forget to plug our new website, but I remember every once in a while, and it makes me happy that we have a website that I can plug that isn't convoluted and ridiculous and whatnot. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Join Henry and I tomorrow for some more Ratchet & Clank. Until then, have a great day full of all great 3D platformers, much like Ratchet & Clank. Thank you.